feel like your whole life is just one giant juggling act where if you drop even one ball, the whole thing comes crashing down? You try to keep your house in order, get your work done, show up for your family, stay on top of texts, emails, laundry piles, school reminders, and somehow still find time to breathe. So when things start slipping through the cracks, your first instinct is to tighten your grip, take on more, try harder. But instead of creating peace, it just creates more pressure. If you ever thought, I cannot relax because if I do, everything will fall apart in my life, this episode is for you. Because today I'm going to show you how to let go without losing control so you can stop living in chaos and start living with calm. Today, you're going to learn 3 mindset shifts, 3 simple systems, and a powerful truth that will help you find peace even when life still feels messy. Welcome back to the Mom Boss Circle, the place where we help you build a business and a life that actually feels good to live. I'm Camille, and let me tell you, I used to think peace was on the other side of having everything perfectly planned and perfectly executed. When things were out of whack, I just had to fix it. And when I couldn't fix it, I just tried even harder. Obsessively, in fact, to fix it. But no matter how much I tried to control everything and everyone around me, chaos kept creeping in. And instead of peace, I felt pressure, constant pressure. It wasn't until I learned how to release the grip that I finally found balance. And actually, better than balance, I found peace. My mind was clear, my body was more relaxed and less full of tension. And if I could gift that to each and every one of you, I mean, it would mean the world to me. So in this episode, we're tackling the chaos control cycle and giving you the tools to break free from it for good. And before we get started, please make sure that you go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you don't miss next week's episode. Let's get real for a second. So many of us, especially those of us trying to build a meaningful business without dropping the ball at home, life, it just feels like it's constantly swinging between chaos and a desperate need for more control. One minute, everything is flowing. You've got your schedule mapped out, the meals are prepped, and your kids are semi-cooperative. And then boom, the dishwasher breaks, the toddler gets sick, a client changes a deadline, and the laundry of mountain just grows another foot overnight. And suddenly, everything is chaos. So what do? We tighten our grip, we cancel our own rest, we micromanage every hour that we can, we make a more detailed schedule, create new plans, and try to fix the chaos by controlling everything we can possibly get our hands on. But here's what no one tells you. That reaction, while understandable, is actually the thing that's keeping you stuck. I call this the chaos control loop. Here's how the cycle usually plays out. Number 1, life feels chaotic. Too many needs, not enough time. Number 2, you respond by taking more control of every detail, every schedule, every outcome. Number 3, that control becomes overwhelming because now everything depends on you. Number 4, eventually something slips. Chaos returns and you feel like you failed. Number 5, you double down, trying even harder to hold it together. It's exhausting, never ending, and most of all, it's unsustainable. But it feels familiar, right? Like you tell yourself, if I just plan better, if I just get up earlier, if I just stay on top of things. But what if the solution isn't really about more control? What if the constant swinging between chaos and control is actually the root of the problem? So, why does chaos happen? Let's be clear. It's not because you're lazy, you're disorganized, you're doing everything wrong. Chaos happens because you're managing a complex life. Your life is complex. You're a business owner, maybe a mom, a wife, a friend, a caretaker, a dreamer, a doer, and curveballs are coming from you everywhere. Unexpected needs are popping up and we cannot control that. People around us drop the ball. Kids get sick. Things that we plan don't go as planned. We're juggling real responsibilities with limited time and limited emotional bandwidth. So instead of blaming yourself for the chaos, recognize it's just a signpost, not a sentence or judgment on you as a person. Let's talk about the control reflex. When things feel messy or unpredictable, it's natural to want to fix it, to grab the steering wheel with both hands tight and force things into alignment. Just stay on the road. That's your nervous system trying to protect you from uncertainty. Control gives the illusion of safety, but when we rely on control too much, we actually create even more stress. We resist help because no one else is going to do this right. We fill our days so full that there's no room for grace. We treat ourselves like we're machines, never resting, always pushing, and that pressure doesn't just affect your productivity, it affects your peace, your relationships, your health, your ability to enjoy the very life that you're trying to build. Let me tell you about the moment that I realized I was stuck in the chaos control cycle. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I had just finished tidying up the house at like midnight after a full day of meetings, running my daughter around to activities, dinner on the go, answering 36 text messages and emails. My back was hurting. My brain was fried. I looked at the clock and thought, I have to wake up in 6 hours and do this all over again. And it hit me. This is not sustainable. Even worse, I had built a system for running my life that only worked if I never messed up, never got tired, never let anything fall through the cracks, which is completely impossible. Totally insane. I was organizing my chaos, trying to control the chaos, not putting an end to the chaos. That night, I sat down with my journal and I wrote one question. What would my life look like if I let go of everything that I cannot control and only focus on what I can? That was the night that everything began to shift. Here's the truth that I can tell you now. You don't have to live on that roller coaster. Peace does not come from controlling everything. It comes from creating rhythms that help you handle the mess without letting it define you. It comes from trusting that everything doesn't depend on you, and everything doesn't depend on you doing everything perfectly. And it starts really with 3 simple mindset shifts that change my life, and I believe they can change your life as well. But before we dive into the mindset shifts, I want to talk about some lies that we believe about control. Because let's be honest, most of us don't cling to control because we love spreadsheets or color-coded calendars. We cling to control because somewhere deep down, we're afraid. We're afraid that if we don't hold it all together, everything and everyone will fall apart. But that fear, it's rooted in some powerful lies that have been quietly shaping how we move through life and business. And unless we confront them, we'll stay trapped in the cycle of control, exhaustion, and guilt. So let's break these lies down one by one so you can be free. Lie number 1, if I don't control everything, it will not get done. This one is so sneaky because it feels true. You've been the glue holding everything together for so many people for so many long that letting go feels irresponsible. But here's the truth. Things might not get done exactly the way that you would do them, but that doesn't mean that they won't get done. And sometimes the best thing you can do for your sanity, for your success, is to let good enough be good enough. Let someone else load the dishwasher, even if they do it wrong. Let someone else send the email, even if the font is all weird and not formatted correctly. Let the kids fold the laundry, even if the shirts are upside down and inside out. Progress matters more than perfection, and peace matters more than your need to manage every single little detail of your life and everyone else's. Lie number 2, I'm the only one who can do it right. Oof. This one hits hard because it sounds like confidence, but it's actually fear dressed up as competence. The belief that you're the only one who can do it right creates a bottleneck in your business, in your home, and in your heart. It leads to resentment, burnout, and bitterness, and isolates you from the support that you actually need. The truth, delegating does not mean that you're failing. It means that you're growing. In fact, research from Gallup shows that leaders who delegate more effectively generate 33% more revenue than people who don't. That's good news for your business, but the same is true for a home. By delegating, you actually empower the people around you. You let them know that you believe that they can do it, that they're valuable, that they're competent, and that actually creates tons of benefits in your family relationships as well. So let that sink in. Letting go leads to growth for everybody around. Lie number 3, letting go means that I'm failing. If you've ever felt guilty for resting or asking someone else to do something, just simply not doing it all, that lie has been talking to you. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean that you're giving up. It means that you're choosing peace over constant pressure. It means that you trust that you don't have to do everything to be valuable to the people that are around you. Letting go is wisdom. It's discernment. It's knowing that your energy is way too valuable to be wasted on things that don't align with your purpose. And honestly, it's one of the most mature things that you can do as a woman, a mom, and a business owner. So here's a little truth to set you free. You were never meant to carry it all. You're not less of a person if your house isn't spotless. You're not less of a person if you ask for help. You're not less of a person if you rest before you crash. And you are still amazing, even when you're not in control. Real leadership isn't about controlling everything. It's about creating space for what matters the most. And real peace comes when you trust that it's not all up to you and realize that it actually never was. So here are some reasons that you absolutely have to learn how to let go, because your peace depends on it. Your energy depends on it. Your relationships, your creativity, your joy, all of this thrives when you stop striving and start surrendering. You're not failing when you release this control that you've made up in your mind that you have, which is a fantasy. You're finally just stepping into freedom. So in this next section, we're going to talk about 3 mindset shifts that are going to help you break free from this chaos and control cycle and move into a rhythm of calm and confidence. Hear me on this. If we're going to break out of this exhausting chaos and control loop, it starts with how you think, because how you think shapes how you respond. These next 3 mindset shifts completely change how I operate, and I want you to let them sink in deeply because they are powerful, and I am certain they're going to help you as well. Mindset shift number 1, control is an illusion. Just let me say that plainly. You were never meant to control everything, and deep down, you already know that. But somewhere along the way, we picked up this idea that if we don't control all the pieces, something bad is going to happen. So we hold on to everything super tight, and we don't let anyone help. We also don't let them have control of their own life. This kind of control creates pressure. Trying to control everything is like trying to hold back the ocean with your hands. It's exhausting and it's futile. It robs you of the joy of being present in your life. And when you stop trying to control what you can't, like what happens in everybody's life, you're finally free to focus on controlling what you can, which is your attitude, your priorities, your boundaries, your reactions, your willingness to ask for help. That's where the real peace lives, in stewardship, not in strangling, in choosing wisely, not carrying the load of everything. So let go of the illusion that you're holding the whole world together, because you're not. And that is a good thing. Mindset shift number 2. Chaos is a signal, not a failure. Most of us see chaos as a sign of like something's wrong with us or around us. And we think, why can't I keep up? Why does everything feel out of control again? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my family? What's wrong with my job? Why can't I do better at this? But let me offer you a simple reframe. Chaos isn't failure, it's feedback. It's information. It's telling you that something is off, but that thing that it's telling you might be there's too much on your plate. There's not enough structure. There's not enough time for rest. You're not delegating, or even maybe there's an emotional need that's not being met. It's not an accusation. It's just a signal that something needs your attention and it needs adjustment. And when you stop juggling the chaos and start listening to it, you can respond instead of reacting. Instead of spiraling into shame, you get curious. And instead of freaking out over the mess, you might pause and ask, what is this trying to teach me? And if you do that, it's powerful. And here's something easy to remember. Everyone around you experiences chaos. You are not alone in that. The difference is how you respond to it. So next time you feel like your life is spinning out of control, pause, don't panic, and ask, what needs to shift right now to bring more peace? It might be as simple as just taking 10 minutes to brain dump. It might be asking someone to help you out. It might be canceling a commitment that you feel is uncancelable, but it really is. So just don't fear the chaos. Lean into the moment and learn from it. Mindset shift number 3. Flexibility is a strength, not a weakness. Now, I used to believe that if I was going to be successful, I had to stick to the plan no matter what. The calendar was sacred. The to-do list was law. But motherhood has taught me something very different. Rigidity breaks under pressure, but flexibility bends and bounces back. So here's what I've learned. Real strength isn't controlling everything. It's knowing how to pivot without losing your peace. And can I give you a truth bomb? There's a study that was published by the American Psychological Association, and people who score high on psychological flexibility actually report having better emotional well-being, improved work-life balance, lower levels of stress, and even in high pressure situations, this remains true. That means the more willing that you are to adapt, the more resilient of a person you'll become. So if the plan changes, just adjust. If your kid is sick, then reschedule something. If your capacity is lower this week, then scale back on what it is that you're trying to do. And if you are drained emotionally, do yourself a favor and rest. Being flexible doesn't make you flaky, it makes you wise. And in the long run, women who embrace flexibility avoid burnout, stay more consistent, and those that try to be rigid end up living a life that's unsustainable. So say it with me. I'm allowed to pivot. I can change the plan without changing the purpose. I am still successful even when I adapt to chaos, and flexibility is my friend. So to close out this episode, I want to give you 3 simple practical systems that you can use to let go without losing control. These are the same things that I have done and the same things that I pass along to the people that I coach on a regular basis. System number 1 is a simplified weekly planner. Let's be real. Most planners are built on fantasy lives, not real ones. We fill in like 47 things that we want to do, and by Tuesday, it's all a disaster. That's because we're planning for perfection, not reality. So instead, try this. Plan your week around 3 core priorities. 1 family home priority, 1 personal priority, 1 business priority. That is it. This simplified approach helps you to focus your energy, cut the noise, and still make meaningful progress in all the areas that truly matter. When you do that, you will free up your mental space to actually make impact, because the things that are most important are the things that get your best energy. System number 2 is a drop, delegate, do list. Now, here's a question that I ask myself all the time. What am I doing that I don't actually need to be doing? And when you're in chaos, it's easy to feel like everything is urgent. And that's just overwhelm talking. So instead, I want you to try this drop, delegate, do method. Drop is, what can I delete entirely? Delegate is, what can I hand off to somebody else? And do is, what actually needs me to do it? So let's say that you've got 12 things on your to-do list today. You might drop 3 that aren't really urgent. You might delegate 4 to someone else in your family or at work or a friend. Then you're left with just 5 meaningful tasks that you can actually focus on. This is going to give you so much clarity and so much mental peace. System number 3 is the evening reset routine. Now this is small, but it's mighty. Spend 10 to 15 minutes at the end of your day doing a simple reset, not checking off more tasks, just clearing mental and physical clutter. So here's what it might look like. Number 1, put away any lingering clutter in the space, whether that's the kitchen counter, the desk, your room. Clear it off, clear your mind. Then write down 3 priorities that you're going to focus on tomorrow using the simplified planner system. And then lastly, reflect on something that you're grateful or proud of. And then stop. And that last part's really important. Seriously, stop. Close the day, no more guilt, no more thinking, no more doing, just gratitude and closure. And science really backs this up. The Sleep Foundation said creating a consistent pre-bed wind down routine actually helps to reduce insomnia, it lowers your cortisol levels, and it improves memory and decision making the next day. Why does this matter? Because when you start your day with less stress and more clarity, you're less likely to fall back into the chaos control loop. This small evening habit leads to better sleep, calmer mornings, more productive days. Wouldn't you love that? I would love that for you. So here's the truth, friend. You don't have to control everything to create something beautiful. You don't have to hold it all together to be strong or successful. And you definitely don't have to live a life that's a cycle of chaos just to prove that you're capable. Letting go doesn't mean that you're losing it. It means that you're finally freeing yourself to focus on what matters the most. You're not just managing tasks, you're building a life that's lovely and beautiful, and a business that reflects your values, and a home that's filled with peace, and a heart that's not constantly running on empty. So please do me a favor, comment below and tell me which lie you're letting go of. Tell me what you're gonna do to finally relinquish control. Let's have a conversation in the chat. I'd love to hear it. And if this episode helped you, pass it on to a friend, because we at the Mom Boss Circle are here to impact the lives of women all around us. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.